In Days of Our Lives, secrets have always been the driving force of Salem's chaos. But this time, a dark truth from the past has come back with a vengeance, and it may cost Johnny DiMera everything. The latest plot twist reveals a devastating secret, one that has shaken Johnny to his core, and put him directly in the crosshairs of a police investigation. Could he be arrested for attempted murder? Or worse, did Johnny actually pull the trigger? For most of his life, Johnny DiMera believed he was just another branch on the sprawling, twisted family tree of the DiMeras, a legacy filled with ambition, power struggles, and secrets. But nothing could have prepared him for the truth that's just been uncovered. It all started when Roman Brady, sensing something wasn't right, made a cryptic comment that led Kate Roberts Brady to finally break her silence. After years of hiding the truth, Kate confessed a horrifying reality to Johnny, one that shattered his identity in an instant. Johnny isn't the product of love or even a fleeting romance. He's the result of coercion. While his twin sister, Allie Horton, was conceived through Sammy Brady's love for Lucas Horton, Johnny's origin is rooted in trauma. E.J. DiMera forced Sammy into an unthinkable choice: sleep with him, or Lucas dies. That night, Sammy gave in to save the man she loved. And from that night, Johnny was conceived, a living reminder of blackmail, fear, and violation. This truth had been hidden from Johnny his entire life. Protected, perhaps, or controlled, but now the dam has broken, and the flood of betrayal is overwhelming. Johnny is left reeling. Everything he thought he knew about himself, his parents, his family, it's all been corrupted by this brutal revelation. And it's not just about the past. It's about the man he sees in the mirror now. What does it mean to be born from an act of violence? How do you reconcile with that? In the aftermath of this revelation, Johnny is consumed by fury. Not just at E.J., but at the entire web of lies that's defined his life. He doesn't just feel betrayed, he feels violated, manipulated, and stripped of his agency. So he does the only thing he can in that moment. Johnny storms into the DiMera mansion, heart pounding, fists clenched, and rage burning in his eyes. E.J., ever the calculating patriarch, tries to maintain control, but Johnny isn't here for conversation. Words are thrown, accusations hurled. Johnny demands answers. E.J., true to form, doesn't deny what happened, but he tries to justify it, to minimize it. That's when Johnny snaps. In an explosion of raw emotion, Johnny punches E.J. square in the face, knocking him back, shattering the false calm of the DiMera estate. That punch isn't just about anger, it's about reclaiming something E.J. stole from him long ago. It's justice. It's pain. It's everything Johnny has felt, compressed into one violent moment. But was that the end? Not even close, because that punch wasn't closure. It was just the beginning of something much bigger and much more dangerous. The mansion may have fallen silent after the blow, but beneath that silence, the storm is brewing. And what's coming next will make that punch seem like nothing. Because soon after, E.J. is found shot, and Johnny's rage may have just painted a target on his back. Not long after the volatile confrontation at the DiMera mansion, everything takes a deadly turn. E.J. DiMera is found sprawled across the living room floor, shot, bleeding heavily, and barely conscious. Chad DiMera walks into the grisly scene, stunned at the sight of his brother clinging to life. Panic sets in. He calls for help, but the damage may already be done. The shot didn't just wound E.J., it shook the foundation of the entire DiMera family. This is Days of Our Lives, and when a DiMera is gunned down, suspicion spreads like wildfire. It's never just about the victim, it's about who benefits, and who had reason. Right now, all eyes are on Johnny. The timing couldn't be worse. He just had a public blow-up with E.J. He threw a punch that half the town probably knows about by now. His rage isn't just private anymore, it's public knowledge. And in Salem, that's all it takes. Motive? Obvious. Opportunity? He was at the mansion. Means? That's still unclear, but when someone wants a scapegoat, details don't matter. As whispers turn to accusations, Johnny realizes he's in serious trouble. The town is buzzing. His name is on everyone's lips. People aren't asking who shot EJ, they're asking why Johnny did it. Now the investigation begins, and this is where things get dangerous for Johnny. The Salem Police Department is combing through the crime scene at the DiMera mansion, and already, pieces are starting to fall into place. Shell casings, footprints, potential witnesses, all the usual signs. But here's the problem: in Salem, evidence rarely tells the whole story. Sometimes, evidence lies. Sometimes it's misinterpreted, and sometimes, it's planted. Johnny knows this. He knows the DiMera name comes with enemies, and he knows that emotions are running high. In the wake of his public blow-up with EJ, he's become the easiest target. The man with the motive. The man who threw the first punch. Right now, the facts aren't on Johnny's side. Surveillance footage shows him at the mansion. Witnesses heard raised voices. He has no alibi for the critical moment EJ was shot. And worst of all, he has history, a violent, emotional response that now paints him as unstable and capable. The narrative is writing itself, and it's writing against him. If someone out there wants Johnny to take the fall, now is their moment. He's vulnerable, he's volatile, and he's in the spotlight. In short, he's the perfect scapegoat. The real shooter? They may be watching this all unfold, content to let the suspicion consume Johnny while they walk away free. Let's zoom out. To understand who really shot EJ, we need to ask one question. Who gains the most if EJ is gone? And that list? It's longer than you'd think. First, Chad DiMera, EJ's own brother, tired of constantly playing second fiddle, sick of the manipulation and control games. With EJ out of the way, Chad steps into the power vacuum, a tempting prize for someone who's lost too much. Then there's Stephen DiMera, ambitious, calculating, always scheming for more influence in the family and the company. EJ has been an obstacle for years. Removing him could be Stefan's chance to finally seize control. But it doesn't stop with family. Outside the DiMera bloodline, EJ has no shortage of enemies. Business rivals, scorned lovers, and allies he's betrayed. People like Gabby Hernandez, who've clashed with him over power. Or even Rafe Hernandez, the cop with a personal grudge. The list is endless, and every single one of them has a reason to see EJ taken down. That's what makes this storyline so gripping. Days of Our Lives has set up a classic whodunit, filled with layered motives and intersecting agendas. No one is clean. Everyone has something to hide. And in a town like Salem, truth is always the last thing to surface. As suspicion swirls and alliances shift, the question isn't just who pulled the trigger, it's who can be trusted at all. Because in Salem, loyalty is fragile, and betrayal is always just one step away. Let's say Johnny is innocent. Let's say he didn't pull the trigger. That doesn't mean he's walking away unscathed. Right now, Johnny DiMera is standing on a legal and personal cliff's edge. He's the prime suspect in a high-profile shooting, and the walls are closing in. An arrest feels inevitable. And in Salem, once you're in the system, getting out, especially with the DiMera name, is nearly impossible. He's not just fighting accusations. He's fighting for his future. First, his reputation. In a town that thrives on gossip and grudges, Johnny's name is already being dragged through the mud. Even if he avoids conviction, public disgrace could follow him for years. Then, his personal life. His plans to adopt could collapse overnight. Courts don't look kindly on criminal suspects, especially those tied to violent family legacies. And what about Chanel? Even with her support now, how long can that last under pressure, doubt, and constant scrutiny? And if the real shooter doesn't surface, or worse, if they actively frame him, Johnny could face years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. This isn't just a case of guilt or innocence. It's about survival. One punch started it, but now Johnny is in the fight of his life. One mistake, one piece of planted evidence, one biased juror. That's all it takes to destroy everything. None of this is accidental. The writers of Days of Our Lives knew exactly what they were doing by throwing Johnny into this firestorm. This isn't just about shock value, it's about crafting a storyline that hooks viewers with relentless tension and layered stakes. By making Johnny both sympathetic and suspect, they've set up the perfect emotional trap for the audience. We've seen his pain, his rage, his vulnerability, and now we're forced to ask, could he have snapped? Every scene moving forward is deliberate. Every interaction could reveal a sliver of truth, or deepen the mystery. The show is building a slow burn unraveling, where the real shooter's identity will not just be a plot twist, but a payoff to weeks of suspicion, misdirection, and conflict. And when the reveal hits, it could upend Salem's balance of power, destroy relationships, and force fans to rethink everything they thought they knew. This isn't just a storyline. It's a chess match, and the writers are 3 moves ahead. For Johnny, the endgame is freedom or ruin. For the audience, it's a ride into the heart of chaos. Buckle up. This story is far from over. So, what's next for Johnny? Arrest? Trial? Redemption? Or will the real shooter make a mistake, and give Johnny the chance to clear his name? Keep your eyes on Salem. The fallout from EJ's shooting will shake the town to its core, and Johnny's fate hangs in the balance. Stay tuned. This is only the beginning. What do you think? Did Johnny lose control, or is he being set up by someone with a darker agenda? Drop your theories in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates and breakdowns on Days of Our Lives. This is Salem. Nothing is ever as it